Palamon felt a cleaving in his heart, as of a cold sword suddenly gliding through. He quaked with anger. Hiding would not do, now that he'd listened to Arcita's tale, and with a madman's face, extinct and pale, he started up out of his bushy thicket, and cried, "Arcita, traitor, false and wicked! Now you are caught that love my lady so, for whom I suffer all this pain and woe, and are my blood-sworn friend, and so we swore, as I have told you many times before, and you have cheated Theseus with this game, false as you are of a pretended name. Let it be death for you, or death for me. You shall not love my lady Emily. I, no one else, will love her. Look and know that I am Palamon, your mortal foe, and though I have no weapon in this place, having escaped from prison by God's grace, I doubt it not you shall be slain by me, or else yield up the love of Emily. You shan't escape me, therefore choose your part." Arcite, however, full of scorn at heart, knowing his face and hearing what he said, fierce as a lion drew his sword instead, and answered him, "By God that sits above, were you not sick and lunatic for love, and weaponless moreover in this place, you never should so much as take a pace beyond this grove, but perish at my hand, and I denounce all covenants that stand or are alleged as between you and me. Fool that you are, remember love is free, and I will love her. I defy your might. Yet, as you are an honorable knight, willing by battle to decide your claim tomorrow by the honor of my name, I will not fail you, nor will make it known to anyone. Tomorrow, here alone, you'll find me as a knight, and on my oath I shall bring arms and harness for us both, and you shall have the right of choosing first, taking the best and leaving me the worst. I'll bring you meat and drink, let that be said, enough for you and clothes to make your bed. As for my lady, should you chance to win and kill me in this thicket we are in, then you can have your lady. As for me—" And Palamon gave answer, "I agree." And thus they parted, at the coppice edge. Until the morning each had given pledge. O Cupid, Cupid lost to charity, O realm that brooks no fellow king in thee, well it is said that neither love nor power admit a rival even for an hour. Arcite and Palamon had found that out. So back to town Arcite turned about, and the next morning, ere the day was light, he filched 2 suits of armor by a sleight, fully sufficient for the work in hand, the battle in the fields, as they had planned. Alone as at his birth Arcita rode, and carried all the armor in a load. There in the grove, where time and place were set, these two, Arcite and Palamon, are met. Then slowly changed the color in each face, just as when hunters in the realm of Thrace, that standing in the gap will poise a spear, and wait for bear or lion to appear, then hear him coming, breaking through the branches, and hear the swish of leaves upon his haunches, and think, "Here comes my mortal enemy. It's either death for him or death for me, for either I must slay him at this gap, or he slay me if I should have mishap." Just so these knights changed color when they met, knowing each other, and the proper set. There was no salutation, no good day, but without word or prelude straightway, each of them gave his help to arm the other, as friendly as a brother with his brother, and after that, with spears of sharpened strength, they fought each other at amazing length. You would have thought, seeing Palamon engage, he was a lion fighting mad with rage, Arcite a cruel tiger, as they beat and smote each other, or as boars that meet, and froth as white as foam upon the flood, they fought till they were ankle deep in blood. And in this rage I leave them fighting thus, and turn once more to speak of Theseus. Now Destiny, that minister general, who executes on earth and over all that providence which God has long foreseen, has so much power, that though the world might ween the contrary, swearing by yea and nay, it still would happen on a certain day, though neither again within 1,000 years, and certainly our appetites and fears, whether in war or peace, in hate or love, are governed by a providence above. This must explain why mighty Theseus found a sudden wish to hunt with horse and hound, especially the hart in early May. About his bed there never dawned a day but he was up and ready, dressed to ride, with horn and hound and hunter at his side. Hunting to him was such a keen delight, it was his ruling joy and appetite, to be a stag's destroyer for the stars. Ruled he should serve ruled he should serve Diana after Mars. Clear was the day, as I have told ere this, and Theseus, bathed in happiness and bliss, with fair Hippolyta his lovely queen, and Emily, who was arrayed in green, rode out to hunt. It was a royal band, and to the coppice, laying near at hand, in which a hart, or so they told him, lay, he led his gathering by the shortest way, and pressing on toward a glade in sight, down which the hart most often took a flight. Over a brook, and off and out of view, the Duke had hopes to try a course or two with certain hounds that he had singled out, and when he reached the glade he looked about. Glancing toward the sun, he thereupon beheld Arcita fighting Palamon. They fought like boars in bravery. There go the shining swords in circle to and fro, so hideously that with their lightest stroke it seemed as if they would have felled an oak. What they could be he did not know, of course, but he clapped spur at once into his horse, and at a bound he parted blow from blow, and pulling out his sword he shouted, "Ho! No more, on pain of death! Upon your head! By mighty Mars, the next strike is dead! The next, to make a movement that I see, tell me what sort of fellow may you be, that have the impudence to combat here without a judge or other overseer, yet as if jousting was at a royal tilt?" Palamon answered quickly and in guilt, "O sir, what need of further word or breath? Both of us have deserved to die the death. 2 wretched men, your captives, met in strife, and each of them encumbered with his life. And as you are a righteous judge and lord, give neither of us refuge and accord no grace, yet kill me first, in charity, but kill my fellow too as well as me, or kill him first, for little thought you know, this is Arcita, and your mortal foe, banished by you on forfeit of his head, for which alone he merits to be dead. This is the man that waited at your gate, and told you that his name was Philostrate. This is the man that mocked you many a year, and you have made him chief equerry here. This is the man who dares love Emily. Now since my day of death has come to me, I will make full confession and go on, to say I am that woeful Palamon, that broke out of your jail feloniously, and it is I, your mortal enemy, that am in love with Emily the bright, and glad to die this moment in her sight. And so I ask for judgment and for death, but slay my fellow in the selfsame breath, since we have both deserved that we be slain." And noble Theseus answered back again, "This is a short conclusion, it shall stand. Your own confession damns you out of hand. I shall record your sentence as it stood. There needs no torturing to make it good. Death you shall have by mighty Mars the Red." On hearing this, the queen began to shed her womanly tears, and so did Emily, and all the ladies in the company. It seemed so very piteous to them all, that ever such a misfortune should befall 2 gentlemen that were of high estate, and love the only cause of their debate. They saw their bloody gashes gaping wide, and from the greatest to the least they cried, Have mercy, Lord, upon us women all! Down on their knees they began to fall, ready to kiss his feet, as there he stood, abated in the end of his angry mood. In the end, his angry mood. Pity runs swiftly in a noble heart, though he had quaked with anger at the start. He had reflected, having time to pause, upon their trespass and upon its cause, and though his anger at their guilt was loath to pardon either, reason pardoned both. For thus he argued, almost any man will help himself to love if so he can, and any one will try to break from prison. And then compassion in his heart had risen, seeing those ladies weeping there together, and in his noble heart he wondered whether he should not show his clemency, and fie, he thought, on lords who show no mercy. Why, to be a lion both in word and deed, toward a penitent, is not to heed his change of heart, and equal him with one, proudly persisting in an evil done. A lord will lack discretion among his graces, who does not make distinction in such cases, but weighs humility and pride as one. And, to be brief, his anger being done, his eyes began to sparkle and uncloud, and having taken thought, he said aloud, "The God of love, ah, benedicti, how mighty and how great a Lord is he! No obstacles for him make any odds. His miracles proclaim his power a God's. Cupid can make of every heart and soul just what he pleases. Such is his control. Look at Arcita here, and Palamon. Both have escaped scot-free, and could have gone to Thebes and lived there royally. They know that I have ever been their mortal foe. Their lives are mine. They can make no defense, yet Cupid, in the teeth of common sense, has brought them here to die in melancholy. Consider, is it not the height of folly? What is so foolish as a man in love? Look at them both. By God that sits above, see how they bleed. Are they not well arrayed? Thus has their Lord, the God of love, repaid their services. These are his fees and wages, and yet, in spite of that, they pose as sages, these devotees of love, as I recall. But still, this is the finest stroke of all, that she, the cause of all these jolly pranks, has no more reason to return them thanks than I, and knows no more of this affair, by God, than does a cuckoo or a hare. Well, well, try anything once. Come hot, come cold. If we're not foolish young, we're foolish old. Long have known myself what love can do, for in my time I was a lover too, and therefore, knowing something of love's pain, how violently it puts a man to strain, as one so often caught in the same snare, I readily forgive the whole affair, both at the Queen's request, that on her knees petitions, and my sister Emily's. But you shall swear to me, and give your hands upon it, never to attack my lands, or levy war on me by night or day, but be my friends in everything you may. I pardon you your fault. You are forgiven." They swore as he had asked, and having striven to gain his patronage and further grace, were satisfied, and Theseus summed the case.